The NFL draft is 9 days away. I am Will Scott. Welcome in to Texans Today by Chat Sports. And on today's show, we're going to take a look at ESPN's latest mock draft. But first, if you have not subscribed to the channel, be sure to do that because we're bringing you a lot of Texans draft content. Also, turn on your notifications. It's the best way to stay in the loop with all Texans news and rumors. You're going to get an alert on your phone whenever we put out a video. And with a lot of noise surrounding the Texans and their plans at number 2 overall, you want to stay informed. So hit that notification bell below and set notifications to all. As I mentioned, today's show going to be about an ESPN mock draft. So Mel Kiper and Todd McShay actually joined forces for their latest mock draft. They alternated picks. Here's who Mel Kiper has the Panthers selecting number 1 overall. No surprise, it is Bryce Young. He is the heavy favorite to be the number 1 overall selection. Now, what are the Texans going to do at number 2? Because there's a lot of talk that they might not take a quarterback. But you got Todd McShay saying C.J. Stroud is going to be a Houston Texan, the Ohio State quarterback. H-Town Stroud has a nice ring to it. McShay has the Texans selecting him number 2 overall in next week's draft. Here's what McShay said about the fit. I really wouldn't be surprised if Houston jumps at the chance to draft a dominant defender like Alabama's Will Anderson Jr., but I'm making the pick here, and there's no way I'm passing up one of the top 2 quarterbacks in this class with that glaring need. Stroud is extremely accurate and would give the Texans offense a franchise passer to build around. I agree with the pick here from Todd McShay, and I agree that C.J. Stroud needs to be the pick for the Houston Texans. Now, do we like him more than we like Bryce Young? Probably not, but Bryce Young is going to be the pick number 1 overall. That appears to be what's going to happen unless all this noise we're hearing, all the rumors are just false. If that's the case, C.J. Stroud has got to be the pick at number 2. He's clearly a top 2 quarterback in this class, and like McShay said, it is a glaring need, the quarterback position for the Houston Texans. You cannot pass up on an opportunity to take a quarterback at number 2 overall. It should not be Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. It should be C.J. Stroud. Will the Texans draft C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State quarterback, the Heisman Trophy finalist, had a phenomenal career at Ohio State? Y for yes or in for no down in the comment section. Go down and chime in. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when that break comes, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Will C.J. Stroud be a Houston Texan? Moving on to number 3 overall, we'll break down the picks 3 through 12 here before the Texans' next selection. Will Anderson Jr., the edge rusher from Bama, he has been linked to the Texans a lot, but here he goes to the Arizona Cardinals, number 3 overall. I think we can all agree that Anderson Jr. is going to be the first non-quarterback taken. Anthony Richardson, is he going to be the second quarterback taken, the third? We're not sure, but the Colts do need a quarterback, much like the Texans, and Kiper McShay have him going number 4 overall to Indianapolis. Could be a division rival for the Houston Texans. Jalen Carter, a number 5 overall to Seattle. There's a lot of talk, after all that came out about him and after his pro day that he was going to fall, but here he goes, number 5 overall to Seattle. Tyree Wilson, he's another guy that's been linked to the Texans at number 2 and also number 12. Here he is going number 6 overall to the Detroit Lions. Devin Witherspoon, I've seen 1 or 2 mock drafts that I'm going to Houston at number 12. I do not think he's going to fall that far. Here he is going number 7 to the Las Vegas Raiders in the ESPN mock draft. Christian Gonzalez to Atlanta. That seems to be a decent fit. A number 9 overall, Peter Skoronski going to the Chicago Bears. They certainly need to bolster up that offensive line. And then Bijan Robinson, number 10 overall to the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 11 overall. And then number 11 overall, Will Levis, the quarterback from Kentucky, going to the Tennessee Titans. And then the Houston Texans pick at number 12 is Jaxon-Smith Njigba, the wide receiver from Ohio State, going number 12 overall here to the Houston Texans. Todd McShay made the pick there for Houston. Again, him and Kiper were alternating picks in this mock draft. Here's what McShay said about JSN to H-Town. I landed both of the Texans picks in round 1, and I'm keeping the pairing of C.J. Stroud and Jaxon-Smith Njigba together after they piled up over 1,600 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns in 2021 at Ohio State. JSN did not play that much in 2022, of course, with hamstring. The wideout is a super smooth route runner and could be a star in the NFL. This pairing was a lot of fun in college, and it could be also a lot of fun in the National Football League. And I do feel like if Stroud is the pick for the Texans at 2, it's going to be JSN at number 12. Here's what he did in 2021. 95 receptions, over 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns. The potential is there. There's no question about it for JSN at the next level. And as I mentioned on the show previously, chemistry is so important between a wide receiver and a quarterback, and the fact that those two already have it is huge. If you want more Texans draft content, like the video, hit the thumbs up icon below. If you want more Houston Texans draft content, we're going to be busy here at Chat Sports getting you guys a lot more videos in the next week and a half. Let's fast forward to the end of round 1 before we get into the Texans' second round selection, number 33. Deonte Banks going to the Giants, number 25 overall. Quentin Johnston falling here to the Dallas Cowboys, number 26 overall, so he stays in the Metroplex up there in Dallas. Trenton Simpson, the inside linebacker from Clemson, going number 27 overall to the Bills. Julius Brents, number 28 overall, going to the Bengals. Brian Breesy, number 29 overall to the Saints. Miles Murphy to the Eagles at number 30. And then the last pick of round 1 is Will McDonald, the edge rusher out of Iowa State. He is Kansas City bound in McShay and Kiper's mock draft. As for the Texans pick at number 33 overall, it is Georgia Tech outside linebacker Keion White going to Houston at number 33 overall in the second round. Mel Kiper Jr. making that selection here in his mock draft for the Texans. He had a great year this past season at Georgia Tech. 54 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, 17 pass breakups for the Yellow Jackets. Taking a look here at the Texans linebacker depth chart, Christian Harris, Denzel Perryman, Corey Little. You bring Perryman in free agency, but I do believe that the Texans need more depth here at that position. So White might make some sense on the outside, and then maybe Jack Campbell's an inside linebacker. Makes some sense as we fast forward here, number 65 overall, where Mel Kiper Jr. has the Texans selecting Iowa linebacker Jack Campbell in the third round, who had a phenomenal season for the Hawkeyes. That great defense up there in Iowa. 125 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble in 13 games. I would be surprised if he's there in the third round. This would be an absolute steal. If you're able to land Jack Campbell in the third round, I would be thrilled with that selection for Houston. Meanwhile, number 73 overall, the Texans' second pick in the third round. Mel Kiper Jr. has Houston selecting LSU defensive tackle Jaquelin Roy in the third round, who had 49 tackles this past season for LSU, 3.5 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble. Needs to improve a little bit in terms of his run-stopping ability, but the potential is there for Jaquelin Roy to be a very good NFL defensive tackle. Let's take a look at these mock draft results. Round 1, pick number 2, C.J. Stroud, the quarterback from Ohio State. Number 12 overall, Jaxon-Smith Njigba, the wide receiver from Ohio State. So those two reunited in Houston here in Kiper McShay's mock draft. Keion White, the outside linebacker from Georgia Tech, is the Texans' second-round selection here. Jack Campbell at number 65 overall is the third-round selection at number 65. And then the second third-round selection for the Texans is Jaquelin Roy, the defensive tackle from LSU at number 73 overall. Grade the mock draft. Type A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. What do you think about ESPN's Mel Kiper and Todd McShay's Texans mock draft?